Do you want a very detailed and clear listening experience? Well, these IEMs will be for you. Let's go ahead and check them out. Now that seems to be everything inside the box. Very nice, simple packaging, very secured. You even get this traveling case over here. You also get 6 pairs of different ear tips, different sizes. Some even has larger openings, but yeah, very nice that we do have a lot of options here. I don't have any problems with the unboxing. It is pretty nice. Now, first impressions on the IEMs, they are pretty ergonomic. They do have a lot of ergonomics actually. As you can see over here, a lot of curves, and it does feel pretty comfortable. I'd say that the ergonomics are pretty similar when it comes, maybe actually a bit more aggressive than something like the Pad Smiths, but yeah, pretty similar. It is a little bit bigger though than the Pad Smiths. And comparing it to something like the Super Mix 4s, the ergonomics are definitely more aggressive here on the Quintet, as you can see. So yeah, I don't really have any issues with its ergonomics when I'm trying it on. But one thing I'd say though, I think it is pretty easy to see in this type of angle, as well as comparing it to the Pad Smiths over here. It does have a more aggressive entry to the ear. Like, I don't think I've tested any IEMs that goes in this deep in the ear. I mean, at first it kind of felt okay, and maybe I wasn't just used to it yet, but yeah, the more I used it, it can get quite uncomfortable for me personally. Again, these shapes can totally be personal preference, and I know some of you will definitely like that being, you know, deeper in the ear. You can kind of tell more the difference without the ear tips, but yeah, this definitely goes in much deeper. But yeah, that's really the only part that I kind of have a nitpick with, or I'm not the most comfortable with. I'm still kind of getting used to it as well, maybe. But other than that, it does feel pretty comfortable. It does seal in the ear pretty nicely. I really love the ergonomics. They're still pretty comfortable other than how deep it goes in my ear. Now, first impressions on the looks, I think it does look very nice. The silver on black, very clean. I don't think it's too flashy or too simple. Again, I think it's pretty clean. But yeah, these does have 1 DD, 2 BA, 1 planar, and 1 PZT, 5 different drivers per ear. Its treble also extends to 40 kHz, so it will have a higher resolution soundstage and airy atmosphere. It also has a strong sub bass with a 9 dB shelf, and also here's the graph for those interested. But yeah, those are its features and technical details. You can find more in the website. Now let's go and talk about my personal opinions, my experience when listening to music, when using them for gaming, because yes, I've already tested them for gaming and music. But yes, starting with music, they are amazing. Its bass is pretty okay for me personally. It's not much, but it is decent enough. It is not as crazy as something like the Super Mix 4s. Those are pretty bassy, but yeah, these guys, pretty okay amount of bass, pretty perfect actually. I don't really think it's too much or too little, but again, can totally be personal preference. But yeah, for me, I think the bass is very enjoyable, especially when listening to music. I really like it. I really enjoy it. Another thing I noticed though is when listening to deep sound, deep pitch voice, male voice, or like lower instruments, they can sound a bit thin, or at least from what I'm used to. I'm kind of pretty used to the Pad Smiths before I got these. And yeah, that's how it sounded for me. It didn't sound bad, but yeah, it will definitely depend on you if you'd like that thinner or deeper sound. Though in return though, it does sound more clear, so that's definitely a good thing, especially when gaming. But yeah, we'll talk about that more later. Now, another thing when listening to music, it doesn't drown anything out. The vocals, the guitar, the drums, the snare, everything is just pretty clear, and it does have that presence. Now, this also applies when listening to music, but I think you'll notice it more because I noticed it more when I was listening to podcasts, when I was editing my videos, when I was listening to my voice. It is pretty bright, and like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not really used to it, but when I was using something like the Pad Smiths or the Super Mix 4s, the s and the sh isn't that harsh, if that makes sense. So yeah, because of that, I kind of had to lower the volume a little bit when I'm editing because it's not a good experience with those harsh and I do make those noises sometimes. Yeah, and I think it's because these IEMs are pretty tuned for clarity and details, vocal presence, which is definitely nice. Again, can totally be personal preference, and those are amazing things, not just for listening to music, podcasts, stuff like that, YouTube videos, but also for gaming. So yeah, talking about gaming, how's my experience with it when gaming? Well, the game I mostly played with these IEMs is Valorant, so yeah, the experience I'm gonna be talking about is mainly from that game. But yeah, it was pretty clear, the footsteps, where they were walking on, like for example, if they're walking on wood, metal, or dirt, sand. So yeah, it was very easy to know where they're coming from or where that actually is. But other than that, the sound separation is also amazing. I can tell if it was in front of me, back, left, right, here, there. The verticality is pretty good as well. I didn't really experience any problems or confusion when I'm listening for footsteps. Like, I knew that this is where it's coming from. And when they're about to come out, it is also pretty easy to tell with the IEMs, you know, when the footsteps are about to. Yeah, the gunshots and the heavy deep footsteps aren't really drowning anything out, since again the bass isn't really that much. It is definitely not a heavy bass IEM, which I think is good for competitive gaming, but it is still pretty enjoyable. Again, when I was gaming, the bass isn't really like ultra low. Like, it's still pretty enjoyable gaming with the bass of these IEMs. But yeah, there are also moments when I was gaming, I don't know if I clipped it, but yeah, my friend just like got out of the fight and is looking for the last guy, and I was like, I think I heard him on this place, on Garage, and it's actually there. So the fact that I could hear that and he couldn't because of all of the chaos, I guess that's pretty good. Or it might be just because I was more focused listening than he was. But yeah, that's a little experience I had with these IEMs. So in short, I did have an amazing experience gaming with these IEMs. They are pretty good for competitive and for enjoying gaming as well. I think it does have a pretty good balance. And yeah, I actually got a lot of clips in Immortal/Radiant ranked lobbies in Valorant while I was using these IEMs. So yeah, for those that wants to see that, here you go.
Spike down A. Last player standing.
Meron pa dyan, isa pa.
Reset.
One enemy remaining.
Iba na patay ang puti.
I got the top frag on the third. I got the two.
CG.
Can plant.
Mating.
Reloading. Yeah.
AR.
Spike
Bro,
down
Cypher.
A. Last player standing. One
GG.
enemy remaining.
Oh, like, you know what I'm saying, Mark?
Right.
Go.
One more, yellow. Killing.
Link.
Spike down
Oh
B.
my god.
One
Nag-wide sa right.
A.
Let me out. $120 on Reyna.
Under.
120.
Spike down B.
Let's go, mix.
One
Perfect. Nice. That's a mix.
Inside.
spike down
Ah, this
A.
is so crispy on me.
Go with you, you shoot.
Spike planted.
One more.
I'm with you.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, he dashed.
Nice one, Mix. I think you need to go now. Yeah, that's why.
Flashing.
That's why
Oh
you-
my god.
One enemy remaining.
Nice
Oh,
one.
nice. I got.
I hope you enjoyed that gameplay. All of those clips are with the IEMs, the Quintet. Again, I've had an amazing experience gaming with them. So would I recommend it? Do I think it's worth it? Well, first let's talk about the price. Right now it's around $197. And for the quality you're getting over here, that is definitely a decent price, especially for the specs as well. So yeah, I think for the right people, they are definitely worth it. Now, to whom would I recommend these though? Now, if you really want that heavy bass, deep sound, very warm, then these IEMs might not be the best option. At least from my experience, again, it is pretty bright and thin, which is not a bad thing. That can totally be personal preference. Now, another thing that I think you should really consider when buying these IEMs as well, and if I would recommend it to you, is the shape. Now, I don't have any problems with the ergonomics again, but if you really don't like that deep within your ear feel, for my personal experience, I do kind of feel that here, but I feel like if I use it long enough, I will get used to it. But yeah, just take that in mind. I would also recommend these to those that wants to enjoy the clarity, the detail of music. It's definitely amazing for music listening. For gamers as well, it is pretty clear, detailed. I had no problems with the sound separation when I was playing Valorant. I would recommend it for gamers as well. But yeah, if you're interested, I'll be putting this Kiwi ears Quintet IEMs first link in the description, and that will also be my affiliate link, so please use that when buying. It would really support me and the channel a lot. I also want to give a little disclaimer that these IEMs are sent to me by Kiwi ears, but that won't change my review. Everything that you've been hearing me say about these IEMs are all my honest opinions and review. Anyways, I pray and hope that this video helped you in some way. I'll gonna see you guys in the next one. Don't forget to stay grateful and remember, Jesus loves you. Bye bye.